Good morning. Welcome to our second Q&A session. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. Just as a little bit of housekeeping, if you're not speaking, please mute your microphone so we don't get feedback. But again, we welcome you to the second Q&A session. Our goal from these Q&A sessions is we're recording this now. We're going to transcribe the questions and the answers and make them available. Both we'll email them out to our email list, and then we'll post them to the website so you can go back and reference them to make it a little bit easier on everybody. We pretty much assume if one entity has a question, probably there are many others that have the same question. Before we kind of go ahead and kick off the second one, there are some corrections I'd like to make from Friday and then some clarifications that I think will help everybody. So on the corrections, on Friday, a question was asked about how many years of past litigation or violations did the department want. The 5 years had been given as the answer. That's incorrect. We're looking for all the litigation and any gaming violations, etc. So please go ahead and list it all. A question that came in that said, do I need my parent company to fill out an application? Clarification on this one, ARS 5-1202G allows the department to require the licensing of a holding company of a fantasy sports contest operator. So with respect to fantasy sports contest operators, the department will make this decision on a case-by-case basis. Same with event wagering. We'll do that on a case-by-case basis for event wagering, limited event wagering operator, designee, and management service provider. So at this point, just disclose if you fall into event wagering operator, limited event wagering operator, designee, or management service provider, just disclose who your parent company is to the department. And then if we think it's necessary, we'll go back and do further investigation. One of the other questions that came up, who completes the supplemental application? The supplemental application may be may be filled out by the event wagering operator, applicant, the tribe or the team, the designee, the management service provider, or any combination of those. The amount of detail included is up to the discretion of the applicant. And again, all these will be posted to the website, but we just kind of wanted to call out some of those. And then I just want to clarify the time frame or the deadlines and what needs to be filed. So for fantasy sports, the department is requesting that the fantasy sports contest operator applications be submitted by August 4th. And that's in order to be ready to go live by the 8/28 go live date. For event wagering operators, designee, and management service providers, those applications need to be submitted by August 9th. And again, that's in order to go live for September 9th. For limited event wagering operators who may be on here, we got a lot of outreach over Friday and the weekend on the issue of timeline. We are going to set a meeting this week to discuss timeline as well as the issue that we have discussed around pari-mutuel wagering. So we will set that in the next 2 days to talk more about timeline and pari-mutuel wagering for limited event wagering operators. All other applications will be accepted on a rolling basis. So suppliers, ancillary suppliers, employees. So when you're done, go ahead and send them in. but they don't have to be in by either August 4th or August 9th. Are there any questions? And then one other very important question: does a designee need to submit their contract with a tribe or a team? And the answer is yes. A designee will need to disclose their relationship with either the team or the tribe to the department. So if you have any questions, go ahead and, if you're on Google Meet, use your raise hand function. Not seeing any there. All right, anyone? Oh, we got one.
Yeah, so I missed the meeting last week. I'm with Betfred Sports, and I submitted an inquiry form a couple weeks ago, believing that we would be a designee, but where do we get clarification on that?
Since yours is a case by case, can you send that question directly to is it EWFS intake?
Yeah.
EWFS intake at azgaming.gov. Aiden, will you go ahead and put the address in the text box?
Okay, one more time. E
as in Edward, W as in Walter, F as in Frank, S as in Sarah, intake.
Okay.
At azgaming.gov.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, check the Andrew Silver.
Hi. I have one question and a possible follow-up depending upon the answer. We were wondering if applications submitted to the department are confidential or if they're going to be made public.
There are provisions for confidentiality that are in the statute, which we will adhere to completely.
Okay, thank you.
Thomas Zong.
Hi there. My question relates to a supplier application, and I was wondering if...
Hey, Thomas, we can't hear you because of some background noise, so I don't know if you're driving or if you're in traffic.
Sorry, or someone with a very loud car that's just driven past. Hopefully that's much better. My query relates to whether or not there has been any guidance provided about which key personnel would need to fill out those individual disclosure forms for a supplier application.
Yes, currently we're asking for the head of the company, the CEO, president. We're also asking for the head of the accounting department, CFO, controller, chief accounting officer, and individual looking over operations, your chief operating officer or general manager, whoever oversees the operations. Mind you, this could be one person who does multiple jobs, 2 people, or 3 people. Just wanting to make sure we have those individuals. For fantasy sports, I believe it is 10% or greater of ownership for individuals. And for event wagering, it's 5% or more for owners. And right now we're looking at the individuals, and like the director had mentioned with regards to parent companies, just go ahead and list them on the application. I believe there is a section on that first page of information that you can go ahead and list the parent company. And again, it would be a case-by-case basis if we want to proceed with a parent company, but at this time, just list who that parent company is.
Okay, understood. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Thomas. Aaron Moss.
Yes, good morning. The individual application, I asked this question last week, but I didn't, the individual applications for tribally owned that are already certified through the state, such as myself, what documentation did you require to be put with the application, being that I'm already certified with Arizona Department of Gaming?
Aaron, go ahead and send in that question to the EWFS intake, and we'll give you the answer in writing.
Aaron, what's the name of your company?
I'm with Cliff Castle Casino Hotel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nate?
Hi, yes, thank you for taking my question. I actually have two in there in regards to the management services provider application.
Nate, before you begin, just for the record, can you give us your first name, last name, and who you're affiliated with?
My name is Nate Reed. I'm affiliated with PointsBet.
All right, go ahead, proceed.
So on the management services provider application, one of the questions asks for a description of any physical facility operated by the applicant in Arizona. My question hinges on that operated, whether that's a past or current tense, as in currently operating, or what we anticipate to have operated, once we are licensed. I'm sorry, what was that?
EWFS intake at azgaming.gov. The address should be in the text box. John,
you want me to send in that question to the email? Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And then my other question hinges on question 14, asking to list all sub-providers. Is sub-providers a defined term somewhere, or what is it that you're exactly looking for there?
Hi, Nate. That is in regards to the suppliers that you'll be utilizing for your platform.
So any suppliers that we'll be utilizing?
Correct.
Okay. And then do we need to fill out separate applications for those suppliers?
Correct.
And is that same due date August 9th for the suppliers as well?
No, that's ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah Gulsheim?
Hi, yes, I'm working with the San Carlos Apache tribe, but my questions are also in relation to the number of suppliers I'm working with as well. Can these entities submit their application, the supplier application, without the individual applications? Some of my clients are having a hard time getting in touch with some of the individuals, and they're worried that it's going to take a substantial amount of time to get all the information required. So they were wondering if they could submit the supplier application and supplement the individuals, or would you rather it all be at once?
Since the due date on suppliers is kind of rolling, we can get it started. It would be preferable to get it all at once, but if that is not possible, we'll go ahead and take the corporate app and then just follow up with you after the fact. It won't be a completed app until we get all the individuals.
Understood. My second question is that I was told that in lieu of fingerprints, the department would be accepting police checks. And when the question was originally asked, I asked it based off individuals in Europe or other countries. But is this something that the department will be accepting for U.S.-based individuals as well?
No, U.S.-based individuals have to fill out fingerprint cards. We only do police certificates for foreign entities because they don't have the same legal jurisdictions as we do, so we will take their local police check. That is for foreign entities only.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone on the phone? Mike Ehrman?
Hey, Director, this is Mike Ellerman for the Tohono Nation. So as you mentioned earlier, for an event wagering operator license, in that license application, either the applicant or the management services provider can answer a number of those questions or contribute to that. So since the management services provider application and the operator application are both due on the 9th, I guess I'm wondering how an information from a management services provider's application? Could that just be incorporation by reference? Is the department expecting, the management services provider application to be attached to the operator license, which would be very impractical since they have the same deadline? Or how does the department want to see that information?
Mike, you kind of cut out there for a little bit. I'll tell you what, email in your question and we'll put out the answer in writing, okay?
Okay, I can do that. I just want to confirm the WFS intake is both for fantasy sports and event wagering. Is that right?
I'm sorry, Mike, you're cutting in and out and we're getting about 60% of what you're saying.
Okay, I'll send that question. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
Director, I think he was asking to confirm if the EWFS intake inbox is for fantasy sports and event wagering questions.
Yeah, EWFS stands for event wagering, fantasy sports intake. So questions from both sides, go ahead and use that email address. All right, any further questions?
Hi, this is Julia Colesrud. I have a question about the designee application, question 19. It's asking for the designee's expected adjusted gross event wagering receipts. Is this the same as the gross gaming revenue amounts received in other jurisdictions to date? And if not, can you let me know what information is being asked for specifically in that part of the application?
I'll tell you what, go ahead. And I'm sorry, who are you with for the record?
San Juan Southern Paiute Tribe.
If you'll go ahead and email that one in, we'll go ahead and write that out and provide it in writing.
Thank you.
You bet. Any further questions? Anyone on the phone? All right, well, I want, okay, go ahead.
I have been talking to our IT, and there's one thing that we need to make sure everyone understands is that we want to make your information as secure as possible. I understand some companies have secure portals that they can send their applications through. I'm starting to get applications that are coming through directly to me since some of you and I have been in contact. This is Carrie Alvarado, by the way, my apologies. Also, some of them are coming through the event wagering email. We do have instructions on our website regarding our secure email portal. So for everyone's information to be secure and encrypted, we encourage you to use the secure email portal. You can go ahead, the instructions are on our website that you can download and log in and submit your applications via that secure portal. Again, this is to protect your information, and Aiden has just put it up in the comment line for that information. So yes, we're trying to keep your guys' information as secure as possible. So if you wouldn't mind using our secure data portal, you can contact me for other ways. If you have a secure email portal, that's fine. Or if you want to submit your documents password protected and send the password separately, but frankly, we would prefer you to use the secure portal.
Great, thanks, Carrie. And thank you everybody for participating. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of attending all these Q&A periods. You never know, there might be a question that comes up that you didn't think of. It's helpful when you get the clarification. Also, please check our website every day. We'll be publishing the questions received and the answers given as sort of a quick reference guide and an FAQ, if you will. But thank you for your participation today. We'll see you back here same time tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
We have a.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Sorry, just real quickly on that point, where will you be posting that on the website, just so we know where to look?
We'll be posting it good question, but it'll probably be over in the event wagering fantasy sports section. We're going to try to keep everything together.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You bet.